is up, guys? Welcome back. So yesterday we took the time and we painted a Roland miniature. So now that we have Roland, we can't have him without his Scorpio turret. Now this is going to be very fast and very simple. This is nowhere even near the complexity of the turret that we got for Axton. So yeah, the saber turret is so much bigger and so much more detailed than the actual Scorpio turret. But since we have this, we are going to paint it up. So definitely going to be an exciting one for sure. The colors are actually kind of simple, and it's so tiny that I might be able to do it, but we basically have to do like a camo effect, a green and brown, and then what we have to do is add like a red on here on certain spots, like the sides. It's gonna be so simple, so you guys can follow along and do this with me. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna use an olive green. This is like a perfect green for like that military look, and we all know that Roland is a soldier. So where we're going to hit this model at with the olive green is the circular base here. The neck of this is actually like a metallic kind of color, or like a gray. So we're going to hit that with a gray. We're going to hit the end of the barrel here with that same color, because it kind of has that look too. And then we're going to hit the outer shell of this with green. You want to leave this little square spot. You want to leave that on both sides, not touched. Okay? And I'm going to paint, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the top of this has like a little indentation, like there's an innards here. So this is like an outer shell for what's here. I'm going to paint that gray because I feel like that's kind of separates it and gives it that look. So let's go ahead and get the olive green onto the turret. Okay, so the green's on there. I did get a little bit of brown in there, which because I was trying to start the process of actually doing the camo effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a dark rust, or you can use a darker brown. And you're just going to kind of make it look like a camo. If you need to like kind of follow like a design, just look up camo design on Google or something and get that idea. But you just kind of speckle that color around, give it that camo look. And then we will move on to our grays. So now that we have our camo effect going on, we're going to go with a basalt gray. We're going to hit all of the remaining areas with a basalt gray, except for the sides here. These are going to be red. So we're going to hit these with red, and then we're going to try to blend like a lighter red into these little notches. So we're going to hit everything else with a basalt gray, and then we're going to highlight different areas with lighter grays, so that when we do put our Gravelord gray onto this to, you know, get that definition, it'll kind of still be lighter because we have the lighter grays on top. You guys will get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get the gray on here. We have basalt gray on there now. The lens here, we're going to use a dark blue, like a Russian blue base. So you have Russian blue lights, but we're going to use a Russian blue base. And that's going to kind of start the lens up a little bit. And we're going to build that up to kind of give it some like depth later. So we will hit that up with like a dark blue. We're going to build up the metal pieces. So any high areas, we're going to want to hit with a reddish gray. We want, with this model being so simple, you want it to still stand out. So any detail that's possible, you want to be able to make that pop, because this is literally something that's going to be on the board once in a while, and you want people to know what the hell it is, because somebody that just looks at this is going to go, what the fuck is that? But once you do all the details, they'll kind of get an idea it's a turret. Okay, so now that that's on there, you want to hit the top areas, so anything that light would hit. So not underneath anywhere, but try to just hit the very top with a warm gray. And you just want to like give it some scratches here and there just to kind of give it like light is hitting it. And then we will go to doing the lens. So now ready to do the lens. So we're going to use a Russian blue and start that off. We could build that up a little bit before we put our Gravelord Gray glaze on there. So we're going to do the Russian blue, and then we're going to do a Russian blue lights over top of that. Making sure that the Russian blue takes up the whole lens, and the Russian blue lights kind of is smaller, but a good part of the lens. So you kind of want to like choose a corner what side you want. So a top left or top right, depending on where you want the reflection to go. Now we're going to move on to our reds, because our red is going to go on the side squares here. So you want to do a darker red through everything, and then the 2 notches on each side, you want that to be a brighter red. Now, it's basically done. So we're going to put a glaze of Gravelord Gray on the whole entire gun, including the lens. And then, while that is drying, we are going to put a Ronax hide on the base, so that once that is trying to dry, we can then go back to do our highlights for the turret itself. So the gun, or the turret, is finally finished. So what we have to do now is dry brush some light earth on the base here. It kind of looks like it's still kind of drying, so might have to let this sit for just a couple more minutes. We're going to hit that up, and then once we do that, we can paint our rim of the base black and add some fake grass, maybe a tuff or 2 on here, and then we can paint on Scorpio turret on here so people know what the hell they're looking at. And then it'll be completely done. And the Scorpio turret is done. I wanted to sit this next to the Roland model that we painted yesterday because, you know, that is his turret. So they look pretty good together. I'm actually really happy with this. Definitely a really cool add-on for a character, especially if you have a soldier playing in your Bunkers of Badasses. They have 2 choices of different turrets that they can use in bunkers, so you can actually supply them with the turret. Can you imagine your Vault Hunters doing one of these, setting up a turret in one direction and then running with the other? That's pretty dope. I really like this stuff. Damn. If today's video helped you out in any sort of way with painting your Scorpio turret from Monster Fight Club's Borderlands, be sure to leave this video a huge like. Also, if you know anybody that really needs help with painting their miniatures, or has got this Kickstarter and they just haven't started painting their miniatures because they're scared to, share my videos with them, because maybe that would push them in the direction to be like, hey, I want my stuff to look like that. But of course, you don't have to have your miniatures look exactly like mine. Paint these miniatures, or paint any miniature that you do, the way that you want that miniature to look. Remember, the hobby is for you, to make you happy. So if you want a blue turret, paint a blue turret. If you want to have a pink turret, paint a pink turret. It doesn't matter what anybody says. If somebody goes, oh, you can't paint it that way, fuck them. You can paint it however you want, because that is your miniature. This is your hobby to have fun in. So don't let anybody deter you from painting something the way that you want it to look. A lot of people kind of get scared of that fact too. But like, I'm painting all of my Borderlands miniatures the way that the Borderlands characters are supposed to look, but that's because I want them to look that way. When I have, like, characters from Warhammer, that's a good one. With Warhammer, you're technically supposed to have them painted a certain way because of lore and all kinds of... Fuck that shit. Yes, I do love the models. Yes, I think that the lore in Warhammer is awesome, but I buy miniatures for bunkers and badasses. So if I want to have an army and I want them to be Atlas, then I will paint that army as Atlas. So I have some Space Marines, and I think they look great for Atlas guys. I'm painting them up as Atlas. I have some Grey Knights. They look like regular Grey Knights, but I threw some stuff in there to give it that Borderlands-y look. And Battle Sisters. I have a huge amount of Sisters of Battle that I'm going to paint the way they are in the box because I'm going to make them Atlas too. So it's kind of crazy how that's going to just blend with that. But I have Wolfenstein miniatures that I'm making into Hyperion soldiers. Like, I'm making them into a Hyperion army. So if you actually want to see that process of me making the Hyperion army that I'm doing, comment down below, because I would really like to know, because I've started the process already, but the army is not done. So if you guys would like to see that, want videos exactly like these, then I would definitely make that sort of content for you guys, because I think a lot of you guys might want to know how I'm doing things and thinking outside of the box. Because sometimes you need to buy a miniature for a game that's not for that game, but it works perfectly fine. You just gotta have a good imagination and be creative. That's all. But I'm going to shut the fuck up, and I'm going to hop off here because it is getting late. So, as always, thank you guys for checking out today's video. I want to still thank you guys for helping us reach 800 subs, and hopefully we can reach beyond that by far, because we are reaching our 1,000 video. I've made almost 1,000 videos. This is crazy. But yeah, thank you guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.